So everyone's asking now, among other things, is what happens if the president sends back the budget to Congress? Well, this early, some lawmakers are already dismissing an idea as such. The details from Marian Enriquez.
Armed with slogans, various groups trooped to Batasang Pambansa on Tuesday. They are protesting what they call is the rampant corruption and manipulation of the 2025 national budget. They are certain pork barrel is very much present in next year's allocation. Progressive organizations are also lambasting the reduction in the much-needed budget for frontline agencies and sectors like agriculture and health.
Ibalik ang kinaltas na budget para sa mga serbisyong panlipunan, alisin ang lahat ng forma ng pork barrel.
One controversial budget cut of much impact happened to the Education Department. At least 10 billion pesos was slashed from the agency's spending funds covering initiatives like a computerization program. President Marcos has promised to fix the DepEd's budget, but this early he said he is not throwing out what Congress has already passed.
I do not want to line item veto anything because that just gets in the way.
But for Ibon Foundation head Sonny Africa, it's not only the DepEd budget that's the problem. Africa believes the coffers that Congress came up with does not reflect a real economic development program. So what can Marcos Jr. do at this point when even the constitutionality of parts of the budget is being questioned?
Return it to Congress. I mean, should we be held hostage by the timetable? I mean, the bottom line is we are getting a really bad anti-development, anti-people, pro-pork, pro-politician, pro-patronage budget. Are we going to let the lack of time be an excuse to let that budget pass? Because, again, elections campaign, people are going to forget about this. So for us, a decent president would draw the line. A decent president would say, I admit, this is a really bad budget. People's needs aren't being provided for. There's too much for politicians, pork, infrastructure, not enough for education, health, housing, social protection. Let's go back to the drawing board.
But lawmakers are divided over the issue of revising the budget, should the president ask for it.
I don't think there's any need for us to reconvene as a BICAM. Agencies always want to have more, but unfortunately, konti po talaga at limited yung resources natin. So the balancing act for Congress and the Senate becomes very tricky.
In the event that congressmen agree to revisit the already ratified national budget, they have until the end of the year to reconvene or hold a special session, just enough time to avoid a reenacted budget. Several agencies' funds may have been slashed, but that's not the case for the spending money of the House of Representatives. The BICAM doubled this to more than 33.6 billion pesos.
Nakikita natin yung paglaki ng requirements ng House in terms of facilities. So, it's a problem that we cannot postpone any further, and that's why the House has taken steps.
Congressmen also went on the defense of the restored budget for the Ayuda para sa Kapos ang Kita program. ACAP gets 26 billion pesos, which several pundits believe is virtual pork barrel coming in the election year of 2025.
Under DSWD siya, at hindi siya pork barrel, no? Ang implementing agency nun is ang DSWD.
For News 5, I'm Marian Enriquez. We are One News.
At this point, let's bring into the discussion Representative Jay Conggun. He is the Assistant Majority Leader of the House of Representatives. Magandang gabi, Kong.
Good evening po sa inyong lahat. Magandang gabi po.
Narinig ko kung naman yung paliwanag din nyo sa press con, no? For the, kumbaga, your own personal reasons for reducing the budget for DepEd, for PhilHealth, etc. Sa amin kasi meron kaming medyo pinagdedebatehan pa dito the whole day kung dapat ba talaga pinag-plus-plus natin no, yung budget ng DepEd, budget ng CHED, SUCs, pati ng TESDA. And even then kasi medyo kulang pa rin siya at mas mataas pa rin yung over 1 trillion budget ng DPWH.
Actually, kanina, no, nung kinausap ako kanina ng mga kaibigan natin sa media, no, naglabas tayo ng isang listahan, no, na umaabot ng 1.055 trillion ang budget ng ating education sector at nasa 1.033 trillion naman yung budget ng DPWH. So naipakita rin doon na mas malaki talaga yung budget na inilaan ng Kongreso sa education sector.
Oh, pero kaya lang kung kasi parang di naman normally ina-add lahat yon no, to get an aggregate parang amount. That's what a lot of the critics are saying. Siguro, some are saying dapat yung DepEd and CHED if you wanna add two figures together. Kasi nga, as it is, the TESDA's under the DOLE and the state universities and colleges are already under the LGUs.
Kasi ang pinag-uusapan naman dito is under ng education, ano. So nakikita rin natin tulad sa DPWH, nakalagay din diyan yung budget for repairs at saka yung additional classrooms, no, silang implementing agencies, no. Talagang doon nakalagay yung budget para doon, no. So ang pinag-uusapan kasi natin dito in totality, ano ang ibinigay na budget natin sa education sector. So total malaki pa rin, ano? Pinakamalaki pa rin. So it means na priority pa rin ng ating pamahalaan ang edukasyon.
Pero kasi yun nga po yung criticism is that it's unconstitutional kasi nakasaad sa batas, sa konstitusyon na plain and simple that the education budget has to get the biggest chunk of the pie. Aren't you worried na baka ma-technical kayo, baka umabot to sa Supreme Court kasi may mga grupo na po na nag-aaral?
So yun nga yung sinasabi natin, ano, yun nga yung sinasabi ko kanina pa na under the law, ang sinasabi nga is education sector, no. So ang sinasabi naman namin, no, pinakamalaking binigyan ng budget ang pondo para sa edukasyon. No? So naandyan lahat yung listahan na inabas na rin natin, no, na kung ano yung mga pondo na binigyan ng Kongreso.
Congressman, puntahan po natin yung dinagdag sa DPWH, which is around 288.7 billion. They are saying that only 800 billion was proposed by Malacanang. Ito pong 288.7 billion, saan po ito mapupunta? Bakit po dinagdagan yung proposal?
Hindi pa kami yun nga yung isang sinasabi natin, ano, may mga usapan kasi diyan, syempre na hindi rin naman kami previous sa usapan, ano. So hindi ko rin kayang sagutin yan as of this time. Yeah.
Okay, Congressman, if the President does send the budget back to Congress, right now sinasabi niya he's not looking to exercise yung kanyang power to veto any line item, pero he did say na gusto niyang ayusin pa yung budget ng education sector. So if he does send it back to Congress, are you willing to reconvene?
If ever, no, pero ang sinasabi nga ng ating Pangulo ay exercise yung kanyang veto power, no, as of this time. At talagang nakikita naman natin naaprubahan na rin sa dalawang in both chambers, ano, yung budget, ano. So hindi natin nakikita na kailangan pa mag-reconvene, pero syempre the President he can exercise his veto power anytime, no. At syempre pag nangyari yun, ako personally wala naman akong problema kung magtatrabaho kami overtime.
Congressman, is that the only option that the President has? Kasi sabi nga niya na ayaw niya gamitin yung line item veto power niya kasi tedious yun at aayusin na lang itong educational budget. So, ano pa ba yung ibang options? Kung hindi niya i-veto, kung hindi niya babalik, is there any way to fix that? That would be constitutional still.
Yes, may mga savings naman diyan, ano, kasi may mga savings naman for 2 years in a row ang Department of Education, ano, pwede rin nilang kunin doon yung 12 billion na kakulangan, ano, dahil medyo malaki pa naman yung kanilang naiiwan na na savings, no, na unutilized for almost 2 years sa kanilang computerization program, no. So isa yan sa mga paraan na po pwedeng ayusin, pero as of this time we are still waiting for the action of the executive department at yun nga ayaw rin nating pangunahan, no, yung galaw ng eksekutibo.
What legislation would be needed to get access to those savings? Sino yung mai-involve doon?
Kailangan i-request sa Department of Budget and Management, no, sa Department of Finance, no, mas madali na ano yun, ano, mas madali na
Proseso.
solusyon yun, ano, proseso yun, ano, na at least magagamit yung mga natitirang pondo ng mga nakaraang taon.
Okay. Actually, yung isa pang part ng batikos doon, no? Speaking of, I know nabanggit nyo rin na yung low utilization rates ng tong mga ahensyang natapyasan, but a lot of people are saying, bakit instead of, changing sino yung namumuno sa mga ahensya na yon, no? Or looking into that since meron naman kayong power nga to call hearings and inquiries into legislation. As early as now, kung nagtataka lang kami, if meron ba kayong mga plans, no, para kung the same way na pinapanagot natin, di ba, yung poor liquidation ng confidential funds, yung poor utilization ng budget, are we looking at improvements to that?
Katulad nga kanina, no, nagsimula na yung hearing sa PhilHealth, no? Dahil nakita natin na talagang kailangan na gasusan ng PhilHealth, no, yung additional benefits ng ating mga miyembro. Katulad nga niyo ng Department of Education, kailangan galingan din nila yung kanilang utilization ng paggamit ng kanilang pondo para at least mas maraming makinabang ang mga kababayan. So, we are looking into that din. Titingnan din natin yun kung paano mas mapapabilis, no? At mas mapapadali, no? With, syempre, na hindi nasasakripisyo yung accountability and transparency, no? Ng bawat ahensya sa kanilang paggastos ng pondo ng ating gobyerno.
Okay, bilang huling katanungan na lang po, no, I just want to get your reaction. We had Ibon Executive Director Sonny Africa here on the show last night, and he said that this budget reflects this administration's priorities, that it took away from health, it took away from education, it took away from agriculture, and added to DPWH, it added budget to patronage politics provisions such as the AIX and AKAP. What would you say to that? Na wala daw economic plan at mukhang gustong umaasa lamang sa gobyerno, sa politiko with this budget that you crafted?
Well, opinion po niya yun. Ano? Opinion nila yun. At kami may different opinion. Nakikita naman natin ang pagiging sensitibo ng ating pamahalaan sa pangangailangan ng ating mamamayan. Dahil syempre gusto rin nating makatulong sa ating mga kababayan, no? At isa sa mga prioridad ng ating gobyerno ngayon is paulit-ulit ko sinasabi is yung education, syempre yung ating mga development sa infrastructure, and development sa agrikultura, no? So kasi napakadali na tignan pag ikaw nasa labas at wala ka sa loob, no? Pero pag nakikita mo kung ano yung ginagawa, no, na trabaho na ibinibigay ng trabaho ng ating pamahalaan upang makatulong sa ating mamamayan, so kami syempre nasa loob. So alam namin yun yung effort na ibinibigay ng ating gobyerno.